Hi, everyone. Whether you're tuning in through our video series or catching us on Spotify or Amazon Music, thanks for letting us keep you company here at Xraised, where knowledge meets inspiration in the intricate dance of industry evolution. My name is Miles, your host, and in this episode, we'll get into something that's no longer nice to have in the workplace. It's an absolute must. I'm talking about mental health. But not the Kambaya, Wellness Week, or Yoga once a quarter type of mental health. What I mean is real, trauma informed, strategy backed, culture shifting mental health approaches that are actually good for people and for business. And our guest today, you guys better buckle up. She's part powerhouse, part pioneer, part therapist, but all heart and hustle. With over 30 years of experience, she's revolutionized how we talk about, teach, and approach mental health. She's co founded Psych Hub, built Psych Armor Institute, authored The Inside Battle, spoken at over 300 conferences, interviewed hundreds of industry leaders on her podcast, and still somehow finds time to raise three kids. Now she's bringing her unmatched energy and expertise to the Society for Human Resource Management, or SHRM, as their executive in residence for mental health. And as if that wasn't enough, she's also a featured speaker for Scars to Stars Day 2025, an event turning pain into purpose on a global scale. So we're bringing you the incredible Marjorie Morrison. Hello, Marjorie.
Hey, Miles, thank you. That was a very kind introduction. I appreciate it.
Believe me, I tried my best to compress it, and that's the best I could do. And Dr. Jamie is right. You're pretty incredible. So
Oh.
before we dig into big questions, I just want to say it's inspiring to see someone so deeply embedded in both the clinical side and the business side of mental health. And today, we'll unpack why trauma-informed leadership is not just compassionate, but completely strategic. So let's jump right in, Marjorie. You're at the front lines of workplace transformation. How is SHRM leading the charge in prioritizing mental health and trauma informed practices, not just as a feel good initiative, but as a serious business strategy?
Yeah, it's a great question. I I would say at SHRM, we're not just like talking about mental health, we're actually integrating it into the fabric of how workplaces function. We're embedding trauma-informed practices into leadership development in helping with things like policy guidance and everyday HR strategies. We're trying to really elevate like real stories that advance research and create tools that meet people where they are. I always say like mental health is not one thing. And SHRM is really helping organizations build cultures that support the full spectrum of that human experience. And, trauma-informed care, which is so much of the work that STARS is doing, all of the latest research about burnout now is showing that it's unresolved trauma. So it's incredibly relevant.
Right. That's very powerful, Marjorie. And honestly, it's refreshing to hear mental health being framed out as not as a wellness checkbox, but as a pillar of high performing culture in the organization. It's like finally realizing that fixing the foundation and elevating it, as you said, isn't just nice. It keeps the whole house from crumbling. And let's get this flowing because we're seeing burnt out, grief, unresolved trauma, often hidden behind professional smiles. Why is it so crucial right now for HR leaders, Marjorie, and executives to proactively address trauma and mental health? I mean, what's at stake if they don't?
You know what, Miles? It's because we're not just managing people, we're managing people's lives, right? The workforce today, it's carrying invisible loads, unresolved trauma, chronic stress, burnout. If we ignore that, we miss the biggest driver of turnover, disengagement, and lost productivity.
Yeah.
But when leaders can lean in and when they're equipped to respond with empathy and structure, it's transformative. And we've seen it in organizations like Stars and Scars for Stars Day are able to really make a difference. Like addressing trauma, it isn't about being a therapist, it's about being human-centered, informed,
Mhm.
responsive, and just really genuinely, authentically showing up for people.
And who wouldn't want that? I mean, what you've said, masking the pain or that invisible wound metaphor hits really hard. I mean, people bring more than a laptop and coffee to work. They bring their entire history. And you're right, ignoring that, it's like asking someone to sprint with a twisted ankle and then blaming them later on for slowing the team down, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
It's about time we talk about one of the movements helping change that narrative. Scars to Stars Day 2025, Marjorie. What makes this global event so meaningful and so different from the standard corporate awareness campaigns we often see? Why is it gaining such real momentum?
But I think it's a day that just gives people permission to show up the way they are, to be seen like not just in their success, but in what they've survived. I love
Mhm.
it's a global moment, right? To acknowledge, to connect, to act. It's really rare. I mean, I don't know of any other place that brings it all together. So many mental health campaigns focus on awareness, but I just feel like this work like focuses on real sort of transformation.
Mhm. Well, yes to showing up, yes to acknowledging it, and yes to acting. I mean, human stories over hollow stats. That's where real shift happens, and that's what I always love about it. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about owning the scars and still shining through. And that's a brand of resilience we can all learn from. So here's a business-minded follow-up, Marjorie. Why should companies from fast-growing startups to establish Fortune 500, actively encourage employees to participate in initiatives like Scars to Stars Day?
Yeah, I mean, I it's a great question. I really believe that when employees feel safe, they perform better, period.
Mm-hmm.
So if Scars to Stars gives companies a powerful opportunity, to say, we see you, we care,
Mm-hmm.
your story matters. Like that message, it builds trust and loyalty and culture, like in ways that no perk or program can do. And there's a real ROI. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
emotional, it's measurable. Like, right, reduced burnout is, higher retention, more productivity, stronger team cohesion. Humanity, it drives productivity. And it's like when it's really done with intention, it can bring people closer together. They're working on the same things, they're aligned, they're rowing the boat together, as we say. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's an opportunity for a company to just really just put the human back into this and say, we care.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And since you mentioned ROI, what it brings back is actually more impactful because it's return on humanity. When people feel safe enough, trusted, and I mean to fully show up, they create more than results. They create even bigger, more impact, and that impact is good for business. Now, for those leaders still hesitating at the edge of this movement, what would you say to business leaders who are still, those who think mental health advocacy is optional or perhaps too soft to prioritize?
I'd say this, you don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be willing to listen, to show up, and to start.
Uh-huh.
Stars for Stars is the way to open that door. It's not just to have mental health conversations, but to change culture. And if
Mhm.
you're waiting for the right time to prioritize your people's emotional well-being, you're already late. The time
Mhm.
is now.
The time is now. I agree. Listening and understanding them make really a huge difference. It's a leadership upgrade, not like a trend. And if resilience is the currency in today's business world, then this is our investment strategy, I must say. Thank you for bringing that message with so much clarity, Marjorie. And thank you for bringing your wisdom, your heart, and your leadership to our community. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, folks, now we know mental health in the workplace isn't a charity cause. It's a culture shaping, performance enhancing, loyalty building imperative. And Marjorie's work from SHRM to Scars to Stars is leading the way in showing us how to do it right. So, if you want to build a workplace where people can actually thrive, head over to shrm.org and, of course, check out scarstostarsday.org. And that's all for this episode. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll keep raising the bar on conversations that matter with guests like Marjorie, who reminds us that business is about people and people deserve care. Until next time. This has been your host, Miles. Stay focused and inspired with Xraised.